Hi, everyone. Welcome to this Yin Yoga practice for sleep. This would also be useful anytime you need to just take some time to chill out. Today we'll use some props. I'm going to use yoga props, but if you don't have these at home, you can find substitutes around the house. So for sure, we'll need a blanket and some sort of pillow or cushion. So I have a yoga bolster here. But you could use a couple of stacked, just regular pillows, maybe from your bed, or if you have any couch cushions, that would work as well. And then for blocks, if you don't have blocks, today pillows would work as well. So you could gather up a few different pillows or blankets that you have around the house. You could also use some folded towels as well instead of blocks. And so this sequence will be very gentle, and it's really designed to help to kind of wind down, to start to settle and bring some rest into the body to prepare for sleep. So, an invitation to begin in a child's pose today. So I will take a restorative or more supported version of a child's pose by using a bolster in front of me. So this is where you may like to stack some pillows to create a little bit of a taller surface in front of your body. And so throughout your practice here, feel free to use whatever you would like to help to support comfort and coziness. So you may like to have some blankets to drape over yourself during your practice. You may even like to have a cover for your eyes as we start to come to the end of our sequence. So here, you could take your blanket and kind of wrap it around yourself and set yourself up so that you're pretty close to your bolster or your supports in front of you. You may like to have your big toes touching and then your knees to the sides of your support. And so from here, you could start to walk yourself down on top of the bolster. And you'll have to turn your head in one direction here. So we'll spend a little bit of time on one side, and then halfway through, we'll flip to the other direction. So you could turn your head to face whichever side feels comfortable to begin. And just checking in with how your back feels here. So if for any reason this is a little bit intense for your low back especially, you could always raise the height by adding more cushions or supports underneath. Otherwise, you could start to settle your body on top of the props that you're using. You may like to begin by taking a few intentional deep breaths in through the back of your body. Perhaps noticing how your rib cage expands naturally as you breathe. Maybe letting your exhales guide you towards a little bit more of a release. So inhales, creating expansion and spaciousness through the back body. And exhales sink you down into the support of your props. Maybe noticing if there's any areas of your body that could soften a little more. Perhaps hips becoming heavy. Maybe relaxing through the shoulders and jaw. Your eyes can be open or closed. When you feel ready, you could lift your head, gently draw it back through center, and turn in the opposite direction. And continuing to just really sink into the support here. And as you feel ready, you could begin to bring your head back to neutral nice and slowly. You may like to pause in neutral for a moment, just checking in and taking your time. And when you feel ready, you could start to press yourself up with your hands. Maybe just for a moment, put the bolster or pillows to the side. And option to come to all fours. You could bring a little bit of very easeful, gentle movement through your spine, maybe arcing and rounding your back a few times. You may like to even stretch out one leg at a time with your toes on the ground, reaching long through your heel. So a little bit of stretch through the back of your legs. And considering you might keep everything really easeful here. So you could bring the bolster or the pillows back in front of you and start to sit down with your legs both on one side of the bolster. So a couple options could be having your legs staggered, Or some people may like to have knees stacked more closely together. So you can experiment with that. We'll look at a bit of a twist here. So starting with your hip pretty close to the edge of the props, you could then start to rotate your upper body towards the bolster. So here we start to bring in a little bit of a twist and then walk yourself down onto the prop. And feel free to, again, cover yourself with a blanket. And you could turn your head in the same direction as your knees. You're welcome to place your arms wherever feels kind of natural and comfortable. So they might be bent like mine, kind of 90 degrees. You may even like to have them by your sides in some way. And so again, you might like to just notice how you could find some extra support here. So how could you utilize the prop? Maybe releasing the weight of your body down towards the earth. Softening any places that could be softened. If you find that your mind is quite busy or scattered, or really caught in cycles of worrying about the future or maybe the past, just knowing that that's totally okay and normal. There's no need to have to kind of corral the mind in any sort of way here. But some tools that might be helpful to start to kind of just channel things into more of a present moment awareness could be noticing the breath. You may like to just follow the traveling, your inhales and exhales with your attention. Another tool for this could be really bringing your awareness to sensations in the body. So perhaps noticing the feelings of pressure between the parts of your body and the floor. Maybe noticing the sensation of your clothing against your body, really anything else that is in your awareness most obviously. And just knowing that that can always change, so you can always let go of that and move to a different focus at any time. You may like to gradually deepen your breath, This is a way to prepare, start to move out of this side. When you feel ready, you could start to draw your hands towards your shoulders a little bit more and use that to help press you up. Turning towards your knees here, and then you could continue turning all the way around toward the back of your mat and toward the opposite side. You can feel free to lower down whenever you feel ready to do so. And you may adjust your knees to a place that feels comfy. And cover yourself with your blanket. You could really be intentional about how you place your body here. So making any small adjustments that you need to help you feel a little bit more comfortable and supported, moving towards rest. And again, you could start to deepen your breath here. In your own time, placing hands underneath shoulders so that you can press up. Slowly turning towards your knees and maybe back around toward the back side of your mat. You're welcome to bring your feet toward the outer edges of your mat. Have your knees dropping in towards one another. You could pause here or perhaps wash your knees gently side to side. And from here, you're already in a place to move into the next form. So just checking that if you've added quite a lot of height here, you may like to reduce it to a lower height. So maybe about the depth of the bolster. And you could set yourself up with the back of your hips pretty close to the bottom edge. Here is where you may like to have your blocks or your extra pillows. You will look at a reclined butterfly with a little bit of a back bend. So from here, you could start to walk yourself back onto the bolster. Okay, and just check. So low back shouldn't have any feelings of pain or discomfort here. And it's possible you may like to add a little extra height underneath your head here as well, just so your chin is gently tipping towards your body. And then you could place your props underneath your legs. So bringing the feet together, knees to the sides, and then supporting yourself with the blocks here. So just finding a place where you may experience a little bit of stretch or sensation, but nothing really too intense here. We're just trying to find comfort and rest more than deep stretching. You could cover yourself with your blanket. You're welcome to cover your eyes as well. You could even kind of shift your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit more, finding some spaciousness through the front body. Hands can be resting with the palms towards the sky or palms face down, whichever feels most calming for you. And an invitation here as you start to arrive to explore a little bit of calming breath work. So just before we begin, if for any reason this breath practice doesn't make you feel calm, that's okay. And you're more than welcome to stop the breath practice and come back to your natural breathing pattern at any time if it doesn't feel quite right in your body. If you would like to explore 3-part breath along with me, you could begin by taking a big breath in through your nose and releasing through your mouth. Maybe one more like that. Full breath in. And letting go. Maybe like now to breathe into your belly. Continue expanding into rib cage, breathing all the way to the top of the collarbones. And exhaling from collarbones, rib cage softens, belly releases. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest. And exhale from chest, rib cage, and belly. Inhale to fill belly, rib cage, all the way to the top. And exhale from the top, all the way down as your belly lowers. Inhaling from the bottom, all the way up. And exhale from the top, all the way back down. You may like to continue on your own at your own pace here. Remembering that you can come back to your natural breath at any time. if it feels right. Relaxing any areas of your body that are still hanging on to excess tension. Maybe softening around your eyes, muscles of your face broadening. Back body fully supported here. And you're welcome to stay in this form for as long as you'd like. So if you're really comfortable here, you have the time, perhaps staying. When you are ready to start to transition towards Shavasana, you could use your hands to help guide your knees up to center. Set your feet a little bit wider. Rolling to one side so that you can gently come off of the support. And laying your spine back against the earth. And feel free to invite any movement that feels right to you here. When you're ready to move towards Shavasana, your rest and stillness practice, you're welcome to slide support underneath your knees. This can be nice, particularly if you tend to get sensitivity through your low back. You're welcome to stretch your legs out long. Take time to set yourself up here with any additional comfort and support that would be useful to you. Your eyes can be open or closed. You may like to welcome another full breath in through your nose and release it. And perhaps let that be the end of any intentional breath control or breath channeling. Just letting things move on their own here. And settling into that stillness, that support, the sensation of being held. And practicing rest before rest. you're heading straight to bed from here. There's no need to do too much to wake yourself up from Shavasana. So you may like to very gently and mindfully start to roll onto one side and move yourself towards bed. However, if this is a midday practice for you, you may like to deepen your breath and start to invite some slow and gentle movement in through your body. Stretching in any way that feels good. And feel free to roll to one side. You can take a moment or two on your side here. It's utilizing this space as a nice gentle transition towards a seat. Your eyes could be closed or open here with a soft gaze. Invitation to just notice what's here, noticing sensation or energy level or anything else. Perhaps joining your palms together, gesture of gratitude to these practices that support us in all aspects of our lives. You may like to close your practice with a bow.